the work. And ultimately, you know, it's we're going to go through it, but it's actually about committing to go on the journey and not just bypassing. And I get really, really cross when I hear quite a lot of sort of, very famous public speakers saying things like, well, anger is such a base emotion. And it's like, I can bypass that. I can just spiritually bypass that. And I'm like,
I do anger.
yeah, I don't do
I
anger. I
hear
don't
that.
do anger. I go, okay, I wonder why that is. So doing the work is actually, it never ends. It's not like you do a job, the job's ticked, and then that's it, it's done. I'm fixed. The amount of people who say, "Oh, I haven't got anything else to explore," and I go, "Oh, really? Wow." Because you must be at the jumping off point then, because well done, you're an enlightened being. So I'm really happy for you if you are. Like genuinely, I have no avarice around it, quite enjoying my human experience. But really, come on, like we've got a lot to deal with. Or another thing that a lot of people will say is, "Oh, it's a past life thing." And I go, wow, you've got your mummy issues, your daddy issues, your sibling issues, being, maybe bullied at school, teachers that were mean to you. Who knows what was in your childhood? You've got all of this stuff, maybe some really bad breakups. You've got at least a dozen things that we could spend a lifetime exploring and probably never get to the bottom of. It's really convenient for you to say it's a past life issue. Like, it might well be. I'm not saying it can't be that as well, but wow, we've got some stuff to clear from this human experience before, we're fully ready to be getting off with that backlog. Like, there's a lot here. There's just a lot. And I always say, if people can't find anything for themselves, there is a lot. Just take a look outside your window. There is a lot of work to do, because outside there is, like, we are a microcosm of what is going on out there. And so this is the thing, everything out there is a mess. So the only way for us to keep clearing through the mess is to become cleaner and cleaner and cleaner emotionally ourselves by doing the work. So what we mean by that is to take this really honest inventory of who you are. So it's who you are now. Who do I want to be? What's the gap? And ultimately, that's kind of a goal setting thing, isn't it? So it's not about saying I'm imperfect now and I'll only be happy when I'm this person. It's about going, okay, well, where do I see myself? Where do I want to be? How do I want to react to this situation? What do I see when I see an older version of myself? How do they respond? How do they show up in the world? Where am I now? Okay, that's the work. At a very basic level, there's my work. And we can't do it all in one go. It's one step at a time. So it's looking at why and how we react to things, and what are we reacting to, and then learning how to do it differently. Because actually, any kind of reaction is usually our subconscious conditioning, and it's not a consciously chosen response. So this is deep self-inquiry. That's another language for it, deep self-inquiry. It's a way to explore what's going on in us, what's coming back when we're out in the world. What comes back at us? Are we always getting people being really gnarly to us? Are we always getting people tiptoeing on eggshells around us? The common denominator for all of our life experiences are us. So the universe, like our day-to-day interactions, provide us with the most wonderful mirror. So if you're always out with friends and someone always cries on you, or you're always the one crying, or whatever it is, it's like, where are the messages that I'm getting about stuff that I could evolve in myself? And that's the thing. I don't really like the change, because there is no perfect. You are not imperfect as you are. None of us are imperfect. It's the how can I evolve to become the best version of myself in this time that I've got. So how do we change it? How do we shake it up? What don't we like about ourselves? Let's be really honest. And can we learn to do that from a place of actual self-love rather than criticism? Go, oh, I didn't like my behavior yesterday. Okay, I can forgive myself for it, but I really want to learn how to do better. That's
Mm.
like an everyday process. What did I do today that I liked, that felt like it was in alignment with who I want to be? What wasn't? where was I like a bit snappy? How can I do better? How can I show up and be a better person for myself, first and foremost, and for those around me? So to get all of that change and evolution, we can get help from emotional specialists such as coaches or counselors. And often starting the work follows a breakdown of some sort. So there's very often what we call a supernatural event, a catalyst. So my near-death experience was my catalyst. It wasn't like I certainly didn't wake up having had my catalytic event and was like where I am now. It was the realization I was in such deep trauma, depression, and PTSD, like so deep that it was a case of I can't stay here. I cannot stay here. I have to keep finding a way to, in my language then, to try and get back to being me. Of course, what I didn't realize, I was never ever going to be her again. I was going to be this whole new person. And I mean, it's Elizabeth Gilbert, the writer Elizabeth Gilbert, who says, I've never seen a major life transformation happen without someone getting fed up of their own bullshit. That's what she says, isn't it? It's something like that. I might be phrasing her wrong, but it's a fantastic quote.
It really is.
And so it's when we start to realize that our stuff, the way that we're behaving, our beliefs, like my foreboding joy, might have served me for a certain amount of time in my life. It helped me fit into my family. It helped me with a lot of things. It was a protection mechanism. But when I was absolutely up to my, eyeballs in mental health issues, having foreboding joy was not helping me because I wasn't able to access gratitude. And it was gratitude that was one of the catalysts to help me get out of my mental health issues. So my stuff was no longer helping me. So I had to find a different way.
For me, I got to a stage in my life where I had ticked all the boxes. I had the job, I had the husband, I had the house, I had it all set up, everything that I thought I needed to be happy. And I was quite the opposite. Anxious,
Yeah, you were.
stressed, miserable. And I was like, is this it? How I've been sold a duff. And so I found myself in this place of nothing is what I thought it was going to be. And so now what? What am I going to do? How am I going to unpick this? How am I going to unpick all of this conditioning and these beliefs that this is the way my life should be and create a new picture? And it was on soggy ground because I was all over the place. I had nothing to be able to build it on because I built it on the dreams of other people, of my parents and my family, of what they thought I would need to be happy.
Society and all of the stuff.
That was my breakdown of some sort.